Imagine waking up in the morning, but something feels off. You're over 60, and you're feeling groggy, dizzy, maybe even out of breath. It's a struggle to get your bearings, but you push through it, because hey, that's just what getting older feels like, right? Well, what if I told you that what you're experiencing isn't just getting older? It might be a silent warning sign your body is trying to send you. I know it sounds scary. And I know how easy it is to brush these things off. After all, we've all been told that getting older comes with a few extra aches and pains. But the truth is, these subtle signs are often ignored until it's too late. Imagine the moment when it becomes more than just a warning sign, when it's a crisis, and it's hard to reverse the damage that's already been done. The kind of moment no one is ever really prepared for. What if I told you that there's a common morning habit that is actually tripling your risk of having a stroke after 60? That's right, this one simple habit, something you might even be doing right now, could be putting your health at serious risk. But here's the good news, there's something you can do about it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Before we dive into it, I want to hear from you. If you're committed to caring better for your elderly loved ones, to making sure they age gracefully, drop a comment below saying I'm here. Because that's the first step toward making real, positive changes. And if you're here to make sure you never miss out on tips to help you or your loved ones live healthier, more dignified lives, don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Wise Living, your go-to for life-changing advice every day. I'm Dr. Chris, and over the years I've dedicated myself to helping families and seniors navigate the complex journey of aging with dignity, awareness, and the right health advice. My mission is simple: to empower you to make informed decisions about your loved one's health, decisions that can protect them and give you peace of mind. We all know that aging isn't always easy, but it doesn't have to be full of uncertainty or fear. What I've learned throughout my career is that the most powerful thing we can do is equip ourselves with knowledge. When you have the right information, you have the tools to make proactive choices, to step in when something isn't quite right, and to ensure your loved one's well-being in ways that truly matter. So, whether you're here as a concerned son or daughter, a caregiver, or simply someone who wants to understand how aging works and what we can do about it, this is the place for you. My goal is not just to give you tips. It's to help you make decisions that will truly impact lives. The lives of your family members, your loved ones, and ultimately, your own future. As we age, the body changes quietly. It doesn't scream for attention, doesn't send up flashing red lights. It's more like a whisper. And at first, those changes can be easy to dismiss. Maybe it's a slight dip in energy, a little stiffness in the joints, or that small ache in the morning that fades after a few steps. Nothing too alarming, right? But here's the thing. These changes aren't always just a normal part of getting older. Sometimes, they're early warning signs that something more serious is quietly creeping in. Something that, if ignored, could lead to life-threatening conditions down the road. Think about it. We've all heard someone say, "Oh, it's just part of getting older." But what if those words are a dangerous mindset? What if those normal changes we brush aside are actually hidden red flags? If we're not paying attention, if we're not looking a little deeper, we might miss something that could make all the difference. And that's where the danger lies. For example, that grogginess you feel every morning, what if it's more than just not getting enough sleep? What if it's your blood pressure dropping dangerously low when you stand up, making your heart work harder than it should? Or what if that dizziness you feel when you get out of bed isn't just a random moment, but an early warning sign of something much more serious? These signs, these small changes, they don't just happen for no reason. They're your body trying to tell you something. And when we ignore these subtle shifts, we're ignoring the very thing that can protect us, our awareness. And that's why I'm here today. To make sure we don't miss those signs. To make sure we don't wait until it's too late. We need to listen to our bodies, and we need to act before it's too late. Imagine your dad, who used to love getting up early for a brisk walk around the neighborhood. He was always so active, so full of life. But now, something's different. One morning, he tries to stand up from bed, and immediately, he feels lightheaded. He has to pause, maybe even sit back down, to wait for it to pass. It's just a few seconds, but it's enough to make him pause and wonder, what's happening to me? You see, when someone who's always been active suddenly starts struggling with something as simple as getting out of bed, it's not just a sign of aging. It could be much more serious than that. What you may not know is that sudden dizziness or weakness when standing up can be an early sign of something dangerous, a drop in blood pressure. And here's the kicker, this is a risk factor for stroke. That's right. When blood pressure drops suddenly and unexpectedly, it can cause your heart to work harder than it should, putting unnecessary strain on the cardiovascular system. If this happens regularly over time, it could lead to more serious issues, including a stroke. But here's where it gets tricky. Many families simply think this is just a part of growing older. They might chalk it up to tiredness, or maybe even assume it's just weakness. After all, we've all heard the phrase, well, they're getting up there in age, it's bound to happen. But that kind of thinking can be dangerous. What you're witnessing could actually be a symptom of an underlying cardiovascular issue, something like poor blood circulation, or a condition where the body isn't able to regulate blood pressure effectively. It's not just a part of getting older, it's a sign that something in the body isn't working as it should. So, what can you do to help your loved one when this happens? First and foremost, don't just brush it off. Encourage them to take it slow. If they're getting up from bed, they should sit up slowly first, before standing. This allows the body to adjust to the change in position and can help prevent that sudden dizziness. Also, make sure they're drinking enough water throughout the day. Dehydration can worsen the effects of low blood pressure. And don't let them skip breakfast. A nutrient-rich breakfast, one that includes healthy fats, proteins, and whole grains, can stabilize blood sugar and help maintain healthy blood pressure levels. These small steps can make a huge difference in the short term and can help protect them in the long run. It's about slowing down and paying attention to the signals their body is sending. But physical symptoms aren't the only signs to watch out for. Sometimes it's the more subtle, internal shifts that can be the most concerning. Think about your mother for a moment. She used to be the queen of breakfast, always making sure she had something hearty to start the day. A warm bowl of oatmeal, a couple of eggs, maybe some toast. It wasn't just a meal, it was a ritual. But now, things have changed. She skips breakfast, telling you it's because she's in a rush, or maybe she doesn't feel hungry first thing in the morning. You might think it's no big deal, right? She'll eat lunch, and that'll be fine. But here's where the danger lies. What you may not realize is that skipping breakfast can cause her blood sugar levels to drop significantly. Now you might wonder, what does that have to do with a stroke? Let me explain. When your blood sugar drops, your body has to work harder to regulate it. That stress on the cardiovascular system can make it harder for her heart to keep up with the demands of everyday life. In seniors, this can have an even more serious effect, because the body's ability to regulate things like blood pressure and blood sugar becomes less efficient with age. And this stress on the heart and body? It's a risk factor for a stroke. The mistake many families make is assuming that skipping breakfast isn't a big deal. We've all heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but in the rush of life, it's easy to overlook. And it might seem harmless at first. A missed meal here and there. But over time, it can lead to serious health complications that compound on each other. Low blood sugar, for instance, isn't just a momentary inconvenience. It can increase the chances of heart problems, fatigue, and yes, stroke. So, even though it might seem minor, it's something that can have lasting effects on your loved one's health. So, what can you do? It's simple. Encourage your loved one to have a small, healthy breakfast every morning. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Even a piece of fruit, a small smoothie, or a handful of nuts can make a big difference. It helps keep their blood sugar steady throughout the day and ensures they're not starting off their morning on an empty tank. These small, manageable changes can keep the cardiovascular system running smoothly and help protect their health. And speaking of blood sugar, there's another crucial factor that might surprise you. Now, let's talk about hydration. Have you ever noticed how your grandmother often mentions that she's thirsty, but despite that, she hardly drinks much water? Maybe she says, "I don't feel like drinking right now," or "I'm not thirsty." You might think, okay, maybe she just doesn't want it. But what if I told you that this could be much more dangerous than it sounds? For many seniors, the feeling of thirst becomes less pronounced over time. It's a natural part of aging, but it's also a major issue. When your body doesn't signal thirst the way it used to, it's easy to ignore or overlook the need to hydrate. And here's the kicker: dehydration can have serious consequences, especially in older adults. When your loved one isn't drinking enough, it can impair cognitive function, cause dizziness, and put unnecessary strain on the body. This can make everyday activities feel like a challenge. Even more concerning, dehydration is one of the leading contributors to stroke risk. That's because when the body isn't properly hydrated, the blood thickens, and the heart has to work harder to pump it through the system. This increases the risk of blood clots and can directly impact the chances of a stroke. But here's the common mistake I see: many people dismiss dehydration, thinking that if you're not feeling thirsty, you must be fine. It's easy to assume that if your body doesn't scream for water, then there's no need for it. The reality, though, is that when you don't drink enough, you're setting up your body for bigger health problems. It's not just about feeling thirsty, it's about making sure the body gets what it needs before things start going wrong. So, what can you do? Start by ensuring your loved one is drinking enough water throughout the day. You don't need to push them to drink gallons at once, but small, consistent hydration can make a world of difference. Try adding slices of fruit to the water. Something simple like lemon, cucumber, or berries. Not only will this add flavor, but it can also make it more appealing. When hydration feels like a treat, it becomes much easier to maintain. And remember, this isn't just about keeping their body hydrated, it's about keeping their brain sharp, their heart strong, and their risk factors low. Hydration isn't a small detail, it's a crucial element in maintaining overall health, especially in seniors. But dehydration isn't the only factor to consider. There are other habits, other small lifestyle choices, that might be contributing to an increased risk. Things you might not even realize are making a difference. Let's dive into those. Now, let's talk about something that many of us might unintentionally do when our loved ones are struggling. The things we say, or don't say, that can actually make the situation worse. For example, when your loved one expresses frustration or discomfort, the worst thing you can do is dismiss their feelings by saying something like, "Snap out of it," or "You're just being dramatic." I know, it's easy to say these things when we don't fully understand what they're going through. And to be honest, sometimes we might be frustrated too. But here's the thing, those words, they invalidate their feelings. They shut down the conversation, and they make it so much harder to uncover the root cause of what's really going on. Imagine this: your father tells you he's been feeling a little dizzy in the mornings. Instead of brushing it off with "It's nothing, just get up and go for a walk," what you're really doing is telling him that his concerns aren't worth addressing. What's worse, he might start hiding things from you, feeling embarrassed or reluctant to open up. That's not just damaging. It's dangerous. Because when you invalidate their feelings, you could be overlooking a serious health concern that requires immediate attention. So, what can you do instead? Instead of dismissing their feelings, try asking gentle questions. Instead of "It's nothing, you're fine," say something like, "How are you feeling today? Is there anything bothering you? Let's talk about it." When you approach the situation with empathy, you create a safe space for them to open up. Encouragement and open communication are key. They're not just about making your loved one feel heard, they're about uncovering what's really going on beneath the surface. If your loved one says they feel dizzy when they stand up, don't just brush it off as nothing. Ask them, "How long has this been happening? Does it happen every morning? What do you feel right before it happens?" These simple questions help them articulate their concerns and make you more aware of potential issues. It's not just about finding a quick solution, It's about understanding what's truly happening so you can take the right steps forward. In these moments, emotional support is just as important as physical care. Being there for them, listening to their worries without judgment, and offering gentle reassurance can make all the difference. It's easy to overlook the emotional side of aging, but it's just as crucial as the physical. Acknowledge their feelings, be patient, and let them know you're there for them, no matter what they're going through. So, don't fall into the trap of brushing off their concerns. Don't say things like, "It's just in your head," or "You're overreacting." Instead, approach them with compassion and curiosity. Ask the right questions, listen deeply, and create an open line of communication that fosters trust. That's how you'll uncover any underlying health issues. And ultimately, how you'll help them stay safe and supported in their golden years. Here's a bonus tip that might surprise you. Forgetfulness. We've all heard it, right? The assumption that forgetfulness is just a normal part of getting older. Oh, don't worry, Mom. You're just getting a little forgetful. It happens to all of us with age. We say these things to reassure ourselves, to make ourselves feel like it's not a big deal. After all, everyone forgets things from time to time. You forget where you put your keys, forget an appointment here and there. It's all part of the aging process, isn't it? But here's the thing, sudden confusion or memory lapses that seem out of the ordinary could be a red flag. It could actually signal something far more serious than just old age. For instance, it could be an early warning sign of an impending stroke. You see, a person's memory isn't just something that fades gradually over time. Yes, it can slow down with age, but when it's more sudden, when it happens quickly, or when it's combined with confusion, disorientation, or trouble finding the right words, this could be the body sending a message. It's not something to shrug off. This could be a sign that there's a problem with the blood flow to the brain, which, if left unchecked, could lead to a stroke. Now I know you're probably thinking, how can we tell the difference between normal forgetfulness and something more serious? It's tricky, but here's what to watch for. If your loved one is forgetting things that they normally wouldn't, things like not remembering recent conversations, or feeling confused about something that would normally be second nature to them, don't just brush it off. It's important to act quickly. Sudden memory issues can be a sign of something called transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, which are essentially mini strokes that can leave lasting damage if not addressed. So, instead of waving it off as just part of getting older, pay attention to the frequency and nature of the memory issues. If it's out of character, or if it's accompanied by other signs, like slurred speech, numbness on one side of the body, or vision problems, it's time to seek medical advice. Early intervention is key when it comes to strokes, and recognizing the signs early can make all the difference. It's easy to dismiss memory lapses as normal, but just remember, not all forgetfulness is created equal. When in doubt, it's always better to get it checked out than to let it slide. Your loved one's health, and potentially their life, could depend on it. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? Watching someone you love struggle with their health, feeling helpless as you see the signs but not knowing how to act. You can see the small changes, the moments when they forget something, the dizziness when they stand, the fatigue they can't seem to shake. And all you want to do is help, but it feels like you're standing at the edge, unsure how to take the next step. I get it. It's difficult. It's painful to watch, especially when you care so deeply for the person going through it. You want to make everything better, but sometimes, it feels like you're just running in circles, not sure how to make a real difference. But let me tell you something, you are not powerless. Right now, in this moment, you have the power to make a real difference. You have the ability to change the course of things. By making small, simple adjustments, whether it's encouraging hydration, addressing changes in diet, or keeping an eye on those small warning signs, you can help prevent serious health consequences and protect your loved ones from harm. That's the beauty of awareness and action. These changes don't require a complete overhaul of their lives, just small steps that can make a huge impact. Imagine how much peace of mind it will bring to know that you're actively helping them take care of their health. Imagine the relief that comes with knowing you're not just letting things slide, that you're taking control and making sure they're as healthy and safe as possible. That's power. Your power. So, here's what I want you to do today. Check in on your loved ones. Have that conversation. It's not always easy, but sometimes, just being there, listening, and asking the right questions is the most powerful thing you can do. Don't wait for the signs to get worse. Don't wait until it's too late. And please, remember this, you're not in this alone. So many others are facing the same fears, the same concerns. But with awareness, with a little action, you can help protect your loved ones from unnecessary health risks. You're not just watching from the sidelines, you're actively part of the solution. And that's a comforting thought, isn't it? You have the ability to make a difference, one small step at a time. So, to recap, we've covered some key signs that could signal an increased risk of stroke, morning dizziness, dehydration, and poor diet habits. These are not just minor changes or signs of aging, they're potential red flags that could have a significant impact on your loved one's health. And the best part? By addressing these issues early, you can make a difference. Small, simple actions can help protect your loved ones, giving them a better chance at healthy aging. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in someone you care about? Maybe you've seen someone you love struggling with dizziness in the morning or skipping meals. Maybe it's a lack of hydration or the smallest signs of memory loss. Whatever it is, let's talk about it. Comment below. Let's start a conversation on how we can better support our loved ones, catch these signs early, and make sure they have the best care possible. I know that sometimes, just sharing our experiences can help others understand and take action. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this video reach more people who need this kind of advice. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Healthy Wise Living. We're here every week with tips and insights that can help make aging a better, healthier, and more informed journey for you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. Stay strong, stay informed, and take care of yourself and those you love. I'll see you in the next video.